Okay, now I can actually talk to chat. I look like shit, and after taking a shower. Anyways, we're waiting for the servers to come back up. And yes, I did just come back from Max, not even an hour ago. Alright, well, since you guys are interested, let's talk about Anime Expo a little bit, because we got 6-7 minutes to kill, and I need to dump my AP anyway, so may as well do that too. So, Anime Expo. It was a lot of fun. I'll be quite honest, this is the, this year I had a lot more fun than I had the previous years. This is the first time in a few years now that I've had this much fun. Last year was fucking miserable. Only because of the fact that I had a ton of people on Discord. Well, not a ton. I'm exaggerating. But I had a few people on Discord wanting me to buy them the Rio thing and some other shit. So I had to bust my ass running around and trying to get everything that everyone wanted. Luckily, I still managed to get everyone what they wanted. So that's good. But this year, not so much. I think I had one guy ask if I could get him something, but he never messaged me back. So I don't know what happened with that. But anyways, since I didn't have to deal with friends asking me for favors, a lot more enjoyable this time around, especially with how they handled the fucking lines this year. But I digress. Anyways, yeah, Anime Expo. It was great. Let's see, what did I do? So I believe on Tuesday, after work, met up with a couple friends, went out to LA, ate some ramen, as is a tradition, and grabbed some last minute supplies, both like convention supplies and like food supplies, snacks and coffee specifically, that we'd need, or we thought we'd need over the course of the convention. And then I come back to my friend's place and we just crashed there for the night, or I crashed there for a night. And the next day, we head out to check into our hotel, which was at the Intercontinental, if you guys know what that hotel is. And set up shop there, and yeah, just chill, hang out, I guess. We went over to the Continent because technically Day Zero is an official thing now. So they call it the pre-night show, even though everyone just calls it Day Zero anyway. Or at least me and my friends still do. We're probably always gonna call it Day Zero. Instead of their shitty old fucking, pre-night show, whatever the fuck that is. So we go to the convention center, check it out, check out Day Zero, and I believe there was even a panel, of all things, there, the JAST panel, which is an 18 plus panel, so you know what that means. So we went to that, got out, went back to the hotel and crashed, and I think woke up at like 5 or 6 in the morning the next day to go fucking line up. So that was great. Not really, but hey, it's what we usually do every year anyway. Sorry if I sniffle a lot. I don't know if I'm sick. I probably am. All throughout the event, I've been having like the fucking sniffles, and there's constantly shit stuck in my throat. So if you hear me sniffle a lot, that's probably why. Hopefully it goes away sooner than later. But Yeah, other than that, rest from day one onwards, it was regular con shit, regular con bullshit, and fun, and all that rest, all the rest of that shit. What else? So, let me start. I guess since I don't know where to go on with this, let me start. Camera, can you focus, please? Thank you. Start with what I got. So first things first, I'm wearing one of it. Went to the YoStar booth, and now I have this. For those of you guys who watch me play Azure Lane, you guys should know that Enterprise is my favorite boat. So there we go. So that's to start off. They gave us this free faux hat at the convention, which I will probably wear while rolling for Sherlock, because why the fuck not? It falls off easily because of the size of my hat. Apparently, my memes are too big for even Foe to handle, so he'll expect him to fall off multiple times during the stream. He can't even fit right now anyway. Let's put him over there. Oof. Badge, our premiere badge for this year kind of looks something like this. Backside. And they gave everyone a, both premieres and, actually not premieres, but they gave all the general attendees, the GAs for short, a Fate Go USA Tour lanyard, something like this, as you might expect. I managed to grab one because they literally had these lanyards by the bucket, by like the cart full, if that's even a word, just out and about in the hallways. So fuck it, we just took some. They also gave us, as part of our premiere swag bag, premiere fans get like this exclusive swag bag that's like general act stuff, like this bag here. Bag looks something like this. Kind of a decently sized bag. And inside it, this was one of the things that they gave us, like an actual, thermos. Sensible cause. Definitely an improvement, if nothing else. More boat shit. Me being the degenerate Sandy memer that I am, they were selling the $20 Sandy towel. That looks something like this. I think I'm gonna have to back up a little bit for you guys to see. Oh god, never mind, my headset won't let me. My headset's missed me. It doesn't know where I've been for the last 5 days. It won't let me go. That's what it looks like. This one on the right. Kind of stretches overwards, and if you turn around in the back, as per meme standards, this is what it says. You boat degens probably expected this. What else? Near the FGO Tour booth, they were handing out these things. The FGO Player's Guide 2019, and looks something like this. They were literally just handing them out for free to anyone who cared to grab one. If you showed them your NA account, do I have the sticker? Did I misplace it? I must have misplaced it. Oh well. Oh no, it's right here. Never mind, I don't have to go over to my friend's place to tell him I forgot it. They also give you a sticker with either Da Vinci or somebody else on it. There were two stickers of kind of like this. I got the one with Da Vinci on it. I know there's another one. I don't know who's on that one. Maybe Mash or somebody. But I did get the Da Vinci one. She looks good. So it's just a sticker. I might put it on the back of my tablet or something. I don't fucking know. In fact, do I do it now? I mean, it doesn't really matter by this point, right? So I don't use it. What the hell? I'll put it on later. Fuck it. Hopefully I don't forget about like I usually do. And then looking through the player's guide, they were advertising. So Albert and the rest of the Hamster Squad were advertising like, "Oh, come get your FGO player's guide You know, you look for the people in, you know, the Aniplex uniforms walking around. They'll give you one for free. And you take them off us. They're free, right? They gotta go at some point. I would just hand them out to whoever cared. Like I said. And I looked through it, and it's all basic-ass bitch stuff, which is, I mean, par for the course. If they were to go any in-depth on it, the booklets would be like 3 times as long as they are right now. And nobody got time for that. Apparently there was like, is this Aniplex? Yeah, they were. I don't know where my friend got this, but he got his hands on a couple of copies of this. I'm gonna pull up FGO in the meantime. Of a this is 2019. Okay, July 2019 to July 2020. Oh, thank goodness they actually made a calendar that makes fucking sense. Because usually whenever they hand out calendars at events, it would just be like, oh, for year 2019. Or in this case, it would be, let's say, for example, oh, year 2019. And then half the year's already fucking gone. So it's like, okay, what the fuck was the point of this then? Like, yeah, I'll be able to use it for half a year. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But thankfully, somebody at Aniplex had the sense of mind to make sure to produce calendars that are actually usable for a full year. Revolutionary idea, I know. I'm shifting the camera over so I'm more in the center. So yeah. Calendar looks something like this, and it's basically Aniplex product themed calendar. So you got Magica record on the front, and then Elmoy, and that one Do You Love Your Mom and Her 2-hit multi-target attack isekai on the back, and then flip through it and you'll see everything else. Magica record and Hataraku something something that yeah, you know that one. Probably because of platelet, but I won't judge. FGO, and then the Camelot movie towards the bottom, and I believe there should be the Babylonian movie somewhere afterwards. I guess not. Is this Alicization? Yeah, Alicization, and then on the bottom is, I forgot already, Heaven's Feel, and so on and so forth. Just basically all Aniplex IPs or properties or some shit. So that's cool. Maybe I can actually use it. Yeah, use calendars. What a joke. More boat shit. Though I think this may be one of the last ones. I don't know. More boat shit. Keeping with the theme of Sandy. Can't put the bag back. Keeping with the theme of Sandy. Basically, it's another pixel art shirt, like the one that I'm wearing right now, except it's the one with Sandy on it. She will spook you. Everybody watching the stream and who plays boats, Sandy will bless your rolls for the next 3 days. Prepare yourself. Prepare your anus. And because I was by the Girls Frontline booth, I picked up a little Walther acrylic stand. She's in her summer outfit, so it's even better. Excuse me. And finally, last but not least, definitely the most valuable of the shit that I got this year. Oh, my YouTube chat is freaking out because I now cursed them for the next 3 days. Sorry, chat. Definitely the most definitely the most valuable commodity or item that I got there this year are my autographs. So, Azure Lane had a panel, and I was in there with, I ended up sitting right behind Xlice and his subs, and they recognized me the instant I sat down, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, I went to the Azure Lane panel on day 1? Day 2? Day 2. It's gotta be day 2. Yeah, because I bought the Sandy towel and the shirts, or the Sandy shirt? No, the Enterprise shirt on day 2. I bought the Sandy shirt on day 1, because most everything else is sold out. So, day 2, lined up just in time. The guy was about to cap the line right behind me, and then another guy came up and tried to cap the line tried to cat me out, but then I was like, no, you don't pull that shit on me. That guy from behind, that guy from earlier kept the line behind me there. So the guy was like, okay. So kept the line behind me. So I was one of the last ones for the first round of purchases that morning. As soon as dealers all opened up. So quite lucky on my end to have gotten there just in time. Excuse me while Boats bothers me again with more commissions and such. So, because of that, after I got my shit from the panel, I went to, or not the panel, the booth. I went to the panel, and there they were. It was basically just a hang out with Sandy's and Cleveland's VAs, and a Twitch cosplayer, I guess, who was there, basically acting as host. So that was kind of cool. What else? And yeah, just a panel where, the panelists and the crowd asked intern Kun and the VAs some questions, and at the end though, they handed out autograph tickets that you could only get if you attended the panel, and they handed them out to. They said they were going to hand out autograph tickets to like 60 random people. I think it was way more than 60, personally, because when I went down for the autograph session itself, it definitely seemed like it was a lot more than 60. But I digress. So I ended up getting both their autographs on signboards that I bought last year. And I was wondering, when the fuck am I ever going to use this? And I got my answer on the second day. So I got both their autographs. Very nice, very kind, very nice of them. I was going to take a selfie with them, but then one of the guys administrating the autograph session said, "Sorry, like no, you can't really take selfies because we just don't have enough time because there were already like a lot of people behind me anyway." So all right, that's fine. So instead, I didn't really mind that too much either, so it was all right. I kind of expected them not to not allow photos. I tried anyway, and in fact, the voice actors were cool with it. But then the guy working there was like, "Sorry, like can't take photos right now. Too many people." So like, okay, that's fine. Completely understandable. I don't feel like holding up everybody else, so that's fine. What was I gonna go with this? So instead, I got a little something like this, and these photos I actually took earlier in the day. There were, can I blow this up a little bit? Yeah, there we go. Shit, I'm about to drop my phone. At the booth earlier that day, there were some cosplayers, and they were obviously cosplaying Cleveland and Sandy for the panel later on that day. So I at least got a photo taken with them. It's pretty cool. They were very good cosplayers, especially the Sandy one. I'm actually surprised how well red hair looks on people, even if it's obviously cosplay. Quite surprised actually. Anyways, so I got their autographs. Very cool. Didn't expect to end up getting autographs this year, but I brought along some signboards just in case, and good thing I did. I was wearing the hat too. Oh yeah, I was wearing this hat the entire con. That's how like more than half the people who came up to me and said hi recognized me because they saw my hat. Don't lie, you would recognize me in public by my hat. And if I didn't wear the hat, you wouldn't notice me at all because I have whale presence concealment EX. I'm not kidding when I say that. Okay, I think that's it for the shit that I actually bought. For you girls Frontline, for you Raifu fags out there, I do have a friend, an IRL friend, who lives close by. who also plays Girls Frontline, and wanted me because he couldn't attend the event itself, but he knew that obviously since Girls Frontline made an announcement through in-game that they were gonna have a booth there at the event. He was like, "Hey, can you get me all the Suomi shit that you can get your hands on?" So I was like, "Sure, I guess." Um, I was gonna go there anyway, so I abused the fuck out of my premiere privileges, and used my. Okay, so here's the context. Here is the context. So I went as a Premiere fan. If you look at my badge, it specifically says Premiere fan right here. So Premiere fan, or Premiere fans, plural, one of the perks is that on the first day of the event, day one, they get a full hour, or they're supposed to. They get a full hour of exclusive access to the dealer's hall, where they can go. We can go around the entire the entire floor, and buy whatever the fuck we want. Because obviously there are a lot less Premiere fans than regular plebs. That is a huge advantage because we don't have to deal with everyone else coming in. Realistically, it's only like 45, 50 minutes because they always open the floor early, like 10, 50 minutes early for the plebs. But even that initial 40, 50 or so minutes is crucial because you get to the booth you want to, and because there's relatively nobody else around, unless you go to like a really popular booth like Aniplex or some shit. You can hit multiple stops and near guaranteed get yourself what you want, and that is not that is a privilege in this con that fortunately for us we can pay for, and if you're a pleb, sucks to suck. So I abused the hell out of that to go to the Girls Frontline booth, and surprisingly they had a lot of Suomi stuff because my friend is a big fan of Suomi. He's I believe he has Finnish blood in him. That's at least he says that's the reason why. So since he told me to get all the Suomi shit. Surprisingly, there was, like I said, surprisingly there was a lot of Suomi stuff. Like Suomi made up like 30% of the merchandise by herself. It was actually absurd. Uh, so me as a Walther fanboy, I was kind of crying inside because there were only like one or two items of her. But and the acrylic stand that I got and showed off earlier was one of them. But at least I got something. Instead, though, what I ended up getting for my friend was $108 Suomi a damaged Suomi figure, and apparently that was the only one of two that the guys at the booth were planning to sell every day. So I was half the reason why those things were those damaged Suomi figures were sold on day one, and the other ones you could only get through raffles if they weren't bought if the other one of the two wasn't bought already. Um, that and I bought three things from the damaged Somi figure. They were also selling these photos, these framed photos about, yeah, that seems about right. About this big, this tall, this wide, frames of Suomi again, and it was her. I believe it was her wedding outfit. Yeah, I think it was a wedding outfit. And it's one of those photos where if you kind of look at it at a different angle, the image in the picture changes. It's one of those pictures. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I don't know the exact name for it, but yeah, it was one of those. So you look at one angle, it's just normal Suomi in her wedding outfit. You like kind of shift your angle a little bit to the left, and then it changes to her damaged art. So I got him that, and that was another I don't know, fucking 100 something, 140, 130. And then I got another acrylic stand of Suomi, I think in her summer, or either wedding or summer, probably summer. Sorry, wedding, because I don't think Suomi has a summer uniform, at least not just yet. But yeah. So now he owes me $260. Cool. I don't know when he's gonna pay me though. Anyways, those were part of my shenanigans. I should really switch the fucking stream over. I was going to put up another song, and then I realized, wait, I have Fate open on my fucking tablet already. So Open up air server. Do I remember how to do this? I sure fucking hope so. There we go. You guys can hear that, right? Alright. Also, I just noticed that, there we go. Yeah. For some reason, the cropping wasn't kind of off. Okay. That's good though. Limited time. What are these? Oh, it's an exchange ticket. How wonderful. Oops. What the fuck did I just redeem? Oh, the fucking hero foes. Nah, I'll take it. I'll take the hero foes. Use that on Holmes if I end up rolling him or something. Which one of these do I really need? Evil Bones, I guess. Okay. And these, the extras, I guess I can redeem these now. Alright, cool, eggplant. Cool. What the hell was that error? Anyways, while my tablet is dealing with that fucking dealing with that error, I don't know what the fuck that was all about. Did I redeem everything so far? It says I did. Okay. How many quartz do I have? That seems about right. Well, continuing on with my story, I'm gonna dump some AP here, so bear with me. So continue on with my axe story. So yeah. Other than the shit that I bought for me and my my friend, like I said, the con was overall a lot of fun in my experience, or in my opinion. The usual con bullshit that I complain about, that you guys have heard me complain about on stream. Like, we had our fair share of that this year, of course, but also, you know, lower the volume. We also had a fair bit of luck on our side too. In fact, this is probably the luckiest year that we've had in a while, where a lot of things went our way, and we didn't really have to worry about a lot of crap that normally we'd have to worry about or get pissed off by. Usually that involves security being dumbasses because of lines and the general incompetence of access control at the event, both on the part of the Axe volunteers and the convention site security itself. Half the time, those motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they're doing. It was kind of that way too, but we did luck out in certain places. Like, for example, on day 2, technically premieres no longer have their hour advantage once day 1 is over. So going to day 2, we're not supposed to be able to go into the dealer's hall earlier than anybody else. Like, once day 1 is over, from day 2 on out, Axe intends for us premieres to just battle it out with the rest of the plebs, like you know, like plebs. But on day 2, we managed to. A lot of us gathered up at our usual place on day 1, and we managed to convince the access control guy, the main access control guy, who was supervising us, to let us stay there. And surprisingly, it did. Though I get the feeling that because they let us in 30 minutes early, because the exhibit hall, or dealer's hall, like I like to call it, on day 2 forward, it's supposed to open at 10, but they let us in at 9:30, and they fucked up real hard on day 1. So I get the feeling that the only reason why they let us in and they let the premiere that one dude let us premieres stay where we were and to get in early was because of how badly they fucked up on day one. And the main fuck up they did, in case you guys are curious, was that I believe over in South Hall, security didn't let exhibitors through. Now, that's a problem because exhibitors really need to get into the dealer's hall to help set up their booths and everything like that. In case you guys don't know who the exhibitors are, or who I'm referring to when I say exhibitors, the exhibitors are the people who actually work the booths and, you know, make Anime Expo money. Because, you know, they pay Anime Expo, the LACC, and the SPJA to be able to sell at Anime Expo. It's kind of how this shit works. So yeah, security locking out their own vendors because they're a bunch of fucking incompetent idiots was not the play, contrary to many security guards' beliefs. So yeah, they fucked up real bad. Like, it's one thing to deny, like, you know, Premiere fans, I guess. Premiere fans are just regular attendees. It's another thing entirely to stop exhibitors from entering the con site and be like, nope, we've been told not to let anyone through. But we're exhibitors. We're supposed to be in the nope. We never heard anything about that. Nope. Bureaucracy, ladies and gentlemen. And according to my friend who lined up in a different area than we did on day 2 to get inside the con center to line up for the dealer's hall, he told us that where he was waiting in line, and what was it again? I think at around 9 or sometime past 9 on day 2, after the whole fiasco on day 1 with security. And at his entrance that he was waiting at to get into the con center, a lady, an admin lady, came down and realized that that there were still people waiting to get inside through and past security checkpoint where they scan your shit to make sure you're not smuggling anything inside. And she went fucking livid on the security and was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be letting them in at you're supposed to have let them in start letting them in at 9, and it's already 9:15 or 9:30, something like that. I don't remember." And the security there was fucking like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, they were like, we weren't told about this. We weren't told about this. Nobody told us to let him in at 9:30. We were told to let him in at 10. And the lady was like, "No, fucking let them in at 9. I told you to I told you guys to let them in at 9." And the security's like, okay, we'll start letting in." And everyone got in. So anytime I get to hear a story about security getting fucking chewed the fuck out is a good story for me. Fuck security at X. Not necessarily the people who work at the security checkpoints. Those people I'm not really too malicious towards, because they're just doing their job. Like usually when so Anime Expo has been doing the whole security checkpoint thing for I think 2-3 years now, and usually they hire like private security companies or whatnot and equipment to handle the screening and equipment and the screening personnel and stuff. So they usually don't have anything to do with the administrative decisions and whatnot that go on in Anime Expo. So I don't really blame them too much. But people like the actual convention security itself, because this convention center itself has its own security, its own dedicated security staff and whatnot. Those people and like the access control volunteers that show up to work at Anime Expo, yeah, those two groups of people, yeah, those two can go fuck themselves. Not only are they fucking competent most of the time, but they can also be really fucking obnoxious at times. Most of them are okay, but at the same time, those most people usually have no clue what they're actually supposed to be doing. And whenever they come across a situation where they have no idea what to do, either they say, "Oh, I don't know," which is the correct thing to say because they're being honest, or the much worse thing to do is that they give us a completely wrong set of directions because they're trying to bullshit. They're trying to bullshit us because they don't want to, come off as not knowing anything. I've had plenty of experiences with shitty ass fucking volunteers uh, giving us a set of directions that later on turns out was not actually what we were supposed to do, and it costs us a lot of fucking time. But anyways, security got fucked. That's a plus in my book. Anything else that was actually important? The FGO Tour USA thing, something that's actually relevant to the stream, by the way. The FGO Tour thing was actually a lot of fun. The FGO. So here's the thing. Did we get raided? I just see a lot of raiding. Oh no. Oh yeah, we did get raided. Thanks, Nimius. I know I have not been paying attention to my chat for the fucking past 10 minutes or so while I was going on talking about how bad security was at, or how obnoxious security can be at, fucking, Anime Expo. Also, for those of you guys spamming the truck thing in my chat, I would ask you to stop. Otherwise, I'm going to ban literally all of you. But anyways, hopefully the people who are spamming in my Twitch chat can stop now. So yeah, FGO. So here's the thing: the Aniplex booth at Anime Expo, usually, so every Anime Expo, Aniplex is always a big kind of booth, there at the dealers hall, because Aniplex USA is headquartered literally in their back, or is headquartered in Los Angeles. So advertising and getting a booth at Anime Expo is like literally working in their backyard. Like, this is their hometown. And Anime Expo, being the largest anime convention in North America, it's like a win-win. There's no getting around the fact that Aniplex is always going to be Aniplex is always going to be at Anime Expo and doing whatever the hell they want to be doing. And because of that, they're always one of the largest booths there. This year's no exception. However, usually what happens with Aniplex is that they get their own booth. Usually they get their own very large booth. But most years it's very cramped. Even then, it's very cramped. And yeah. Needless to say, they can only take like so many people at once through the merch lines and shit, and they have to eventually turn away everybody and cap the lines because too many people want to get into the booth while they have too little space. This year, though, they made a significant improvement, in part thanks to the FGO USA tour, because what they ended up doing was, since Anime Expo was an FGO USA tour stop, and including that in the dealer's hall is kind of like we don't want to do that because then it'd take up too much space. What they ended up doing was they got the merch booth a really big space, complete with its own roped off lines and shit like that. Their merch booth at the dealer's hall was substantially bigger. It was like at least 2.5 times bigger than the space they had last year, which I'm glad to see, because that way we didn't have all the space and the foot traffic issues that we had in previous years. So good to see that at least somebody at Anime Expo had the fucking sense to do something that wasn't completely fucking retarded, as they've done for the past God knows how many years. And to continue the story, what they ended up doing was they put in the FGO USA Tour booth in the entertainment hall, which was a much better idea, because now you have Aniplex now has 2 places where you can visit, and it effectively splits up the potential flow of traffic to both areas. Because hey, if you wanted merch for Aniplex, you go to the merch line. If you wanted to go to the FGO USA Tour stuff and check out what they have there, you go over to another place entirely. I can't imagine what would have happened if you had. Actually, no, I can because I know what it looks like. Yeah, what would happen if both the USA FGO tour, the FGO USA tour booth, and the merch booth were in the same location? That would be a fucking nightmare. So I'm glad they didn't do that and actually had the sense to split it up. And so, yeah, going to FGO USA Tour booth was a lot of fun. This event's challenge quest was they actually had made us go to do the whatchamacallit, it, the training grounds all throughout the day or all throughout the week. So the first on day one it was Rider daily, and then because training grounds rotates every day, it changed to caster, assassin, then eventually saber, and I believe archer earlier today, right? If I'm not mistaken. Um, Actually, the con pretty much ended at 5. Everyone was ready to go by 5 or something. So I don't think they even got to the archer rotation for today. But yeah, so rider, caster, assassin, and saber. Perhaps not surprisingly, I did get the best. I did get the top score again because it was still the max damage challenge quest. Where let's go do. We're gonna make you guys go to training grounds, 40 AP expert, and try to get the most damage that you can. And then I went to caster daily and dropped 3.1 million on everybody because Waver is a male caster and Maeve kind of fucks him. So yeah, easy, right? Anyways, I may talk about that later because I actually want to talk a little bit more about that challenge quest in a little bit more detail because I have a lot to say about it. Not really a lot. It's more like a rant, but I'll say that for later once we actually start rolling in. If there's nothing particularly interesting going on with the rolling, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, Anime Expo was a lot of fun. Oh, and lastly, so you guys know how I said that I won't I think I would like to try the Madoka game, but I'm already going full time on 3 of the mobile games. Yeah, well, I still made a contract anyway after the con, so I'm playing that one too. That being said, actually, here's the context. So I went to the Madoka panel on day 2, I believe it was, and uh, main reason for me to go was because Chiwa Saito was going to be there, and as you guys may or may not know, she is the voice actor of Homura, who is one of my favorite characters from the main Madoka series anyway, and she's also the voice of Tamo and everybody else. So the main reason why I went was to go see her live. I don't think she was giving any autograph sessions though. That's the one thing that my friend and I complained the entire time while we were there. The industry guests didn't seem to have any autograph sessions going on for them. The Azure Lane people, the Azure Lane voice actors, Sandy's and Cleveland's voice actors, they technically weren't industry. I think they were guests of honor. So I guess we got autographs for them, no problem. But no such luck with Aniplex's guests of honors because they came as industry, I suppose. And I guess for some reason they didn't have autograph sessions. I think so. Ayako was there, Okubo was there, Saito was there, and then Saito was there with QB's voice actor. Who was QB's voice actress again? Somebody, I forget her name. But those 4 were there, and none of them did autograph sessions, which sucks because Ayako hasn't given an autograph session for like the past 2 or 3 years, which blows. I think she gave an autograph session for Heaven's Feel Part 1 when it first came out in the US, but that was pretty much it, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago, right? So, yeah, that sucks. So the best I could do was to go ahead and attend the panel to be able to at least see her, right? So that was cool. She came out along with everybody else, and we had a blast there. The Madoka panel was a lot of fun to be in. I'm gonna be honest. That Madoka panel was great. It's nothing like the FGO panels, as in terms of like the atmosphere and the I guess the delivery of the panel, like how the panelists delivered the actual panel itself. Like, you guys will know if you guys have watched the FGO streams, if you guys have watched the FGO panels at Anime Expo, because this year's and last year's were both streamed, so you guys could watch it live even if you weren't at the event itself. You guys may be aware that sometimes the FGO panel can come off as like kind of awkward, and you know, they're just telling us shit that we already know. So it's kind of like, well, why are we even watching this other than to like other than for our own like degenerate reasons, whatever they may be. But no, the Madoka panel was actually a lot of fun to be in. Aside from the voice actors who obviously made up, who obviously were like 50% of the reason why I was there. Yeah, they showed us like a couple Madoka stuff like the movie, like the movie PV, the anime trailers and whatnot. They even told us, and best of all, they even told us that about how they were planning to make an anime out of Magia Record itself, which is pretty cool, and that maybe I think they said it'll be coming out later on this year. So looking forward to that, I guess, since I'm already playing the game, right? And what was the other one? Oh yeah, and I guess even better than that, to top that one even, the producer for Magia Record came out along with I guess another guy who also works on the game, and it was like, hey, we're thinking about giving NA Magia Record Magia. I still have to decide on what I want to call that. We're thinking about giving NA Magia Record their own exclusive magical girl, which is cool because both the guys had no problems whatsoever with mentioning JP Magia Record, and then being like, oh yeah, so JP has JP this, JP that, and NA this, NA that. They had no issues whatsoever. Acknowledging the fact that JP exists and that NA is a little bit behind, I guess. Actually, not directly, but they kind of imply that just by mentioning JP, and the fact that they even mentioned on stage that they were thinking of giving NA their own exclusive content. That fucking blew my mind. Are you guys actually part of the same fucking company? Like the same publisher? You guys are both under Aniplex, right? That fucking blew my mind. After 3 years of getting cucked by fucking Shiokawa and the hamster, more Shiokawa than the Hamster Squad, but I'll blame the Hamster Squad too because it's fun. After 3 years of getting fucking cucked by Shiokawa and getting 10 Saint Quartz for each anniversary after the first one, sitting down at the Madoka panel and listening to the main producer of Magia Record from JP walk up to the stage, sit down, and say into the mic, yeah, so NA Magia Record might be getting their own exclusive magical. Fucking. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Somebody give that man a raise. Or better yet, put him in charge of NAFGO. Maybe that'll improve our NAFGO experience too, and hopefully not make those panels awkward as fuck. Half of it I'm just kidding about, but I think my point still stands. It was quite the experience sitting in both the Magia Record panel and the FGO panel and listening to how both of the producers of the games from each their respective games approached talking to us. Like it was pretty clear. Like by this point it was probably even really obvious starting last year too. But Shiokawa knows that most of us in that room kind of knew what was coming. Like, we're not dumb. Like, the people who are super interested in this game, we're not dumb. If we know something, we know most of us in that panel kind of knew what to expect. And whenever you release quote-unquote new information, the only reason why people cheered was because it was just for the confirmation factor. It's really about it, in my opinion, anyway. If I would really like to see someone convince me otherwise, but yeah, hearing those cheers was fun and all. I mean, hearing the Madoka crowd go fucking wild for the shit that we got during the Madoka panel, it's like night and day almost to me anyway. Maybe I'm thinking it too much into it, but I felt like I think that I felt a significant difference in atmosphere between those two panels. which is cool in and of itself. And I think that was like the major driving force into me being like, okay, I'll give this game a shot. I'm gonna give this game a shot. And I'm sure it was the same. It may have been the same for a lot of other people in the panel too, because obviously I wasn't the only one who wasn't playing a Madoka at the time. And after that panel happened, I'm sure me and a handful of other folks got started playing the game now. That being said, I'm for right now I'm treating Madoka as like a very casual game because I just don't know how much I'm gonna get into it. That being said, I do want all their costumes. Or at least all the costumes for Mami and Homura, so don't tell me when I said that though. Okay, that was the last thing. Enough fucking ranting about dumb shit that you all probably don't care about. You guys are here for this! Be honest with me. I know you guys are here for this. Okay. God fucking damn it. Okay. Alright, let's just start rolling. So, 51 SSRs here. Highest priority is Bryn. I believe Bryn, other than Scheherazade, is my only MP1 SSR. Everyone else is at least MP2 or higher. Obviously, Scheherazade is not as important as Brynhilde in terms of rarity because Scheherazade is permanent. Need I say more? And Bryn is not. Plus, if I roll Bryn now, which is a 1 in 51 chance, by the way, less than a 2% chance, it will lighten the load for me to have to roll her on during Eurofest. So, highest priority is Bryn. That I can say for sure. I'm calling neither Bryn nor Scheherazade. Well, you've got a 49 and 51% chance to be right. So, I wouldn't doubt you. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Let's not delay anymore. Alrighty, boys. Cast your votes, cast your bets. We shall see who wins. Excuse me. Okay. Summer Saber in this? Nope. Actually, no, she should be, right? Because it's technically all the SSRs in the game. She should be, I think. Also, I think I have like I think I have a 50% chance of rolling a USO. So, in case this is my 5-star right here, it's probably a 50% chance that it's a USO. Oh, got you baited, it's a 4-star. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. This is a 50% chance for me to get a USO. Actually, more than a 50% chance, I'm pretty sure. Or something like that. We'll find out soon enough. I still have to see what the conditions for Farmville's GSSR game is. Alright. So here's the 5-star. It's a Saber. Is it Mordred? Actually, I think I've everybody. Yeah. So yeah, that's USO. Don't I have all the Saber at 5-star Sabers? MP5? I'm pretty sure I do. Oh no, I don't. Proto Arthur. Reminder that Saber was my very first SSR in the game, so I guess it makes sense. Musashi and Void. Okay, so that's the GSSR. Got Saber. I need to look up the rules for the GSSR game earlier. What was the rules for this? Based on your SSR status, draw your SSR with a perm. Alright, so I need to draw a satyr who has a perm. This is gonna be fun. Alright. Okay. So we got the GSSR out of the way. So for Holmes, here's the thing. Sherlock's rotations will feature Agartha at some point. I believe Agartha has Columbus on it on Raid Up. So ideally, I would like to roll on the Agartha rotation. However, I'm pretty sure that Holmes will be on Raid Up with all the other 5-stars in Agartha, so I would assume Sherlock is going to be featured alongside Scheherazade and Drake, if I'm not mistaken. So what I'm going to do is for tonight, I'll roll a little bit here. If we get Holmes here, that's great. I'm gonna see if I can get him to at least MP1, and then we'll see if we can get him again during Agartha rotation, but we'll see. So we'll start by throwing away our tickets that we definitely don't need. I actually don't recognize this 3-star. Interesting. God. Body hurts, aches all over. Walk too much, like always. Anyways. So, how are y'all doing? Did y'all enjoy Anime Expo? For those of you guys who went to Anime Expo, did y'all enjoy yourselves? If not, if you didn't go, did you at least watch some of the live streams there? I would assume y'all at least watched the FGO panel live stream itself. Though I'm sure I know what you guys felt about that. But anyways, so now that we're getting into the groove of rolling. So here's this one thing that I said I wanted to talk about and make a little rant about from earlier before I switched over to FGO from my webcam. So, at the FGO USA Tour booth, obviously there was a challenge stage. And for those of you guys who weren't here when I was talking about it, the challenge stage for this event was the training grounds, where basically the 40 AP like caster, rider, assassin, or whatever daily, right? Whatever was on rotation at the time. So, and it was the max damage. It was still the max damage challenge quest. So you had to go to the 40 AP training grounds with a preset team, and then go in and try to see how much damage you could do in one turn. It was one turn, not one single attack. So, technically, you could do stuff like multiple NPs or like MP1 and hope for a Brave Chain, go for like a full servant Brave Chain, maybe nuke a second enemy with like hella crits or something. So that was kind of interesting, though most people just went for the single hyper buff NP strat anyway. So on day one, I believe I went up there and I used the Shuten. Yeah, it was Rider daily before it changed, so to casters. So I used Shuten, Tam waiver, stuff like that, I think, and I barely got the #1 spot with like 1 million, 1.048 million or something like that. And I think Omiko from Farmville was going to beat that, but because he used the hyper buff Siegfried strat, because it's Rider daily, and you can fight against wyverns there. So bringing Siegfried along is really good. He would have outdamaged me and would have gotten like around 1.3 million, but he got bad RNG on wave 1, and one of the 3 enemies that spawned was a centaur instead, and a centaur is not exactly a wyvern. So Siegfried was only able to do his special damage against 2 of them and not all 3, so he barely couldn't outdamage me on the first day. Now the second day is where things got a little interesting, because the second day was for casters. So since it was for casters, naturally the first choice of a major DPS that comes to mind should be Maeve, because you fight against Waver as the guaranteed 40 AP boss servant at the end of wave 3, or at the end at wave 3. So yeah, first I actually used I just was like, oh yeah, I'll just bring Merlin Waver Maeve, and then buff Maeve turn 1, plug her out, and then stall until Merlin and Waver get their buffs back, and I'll move Maeve back in by suiciding a Rash, and then bring her back in and then double buffing. And just doing that, I think I got like 2.3 million. And Hua Weeb over on Twitch, for those of you guys who know him from the Twitch side of things, I think he subs to a few FGO streamers here on Twitch. He went up there and he beat my score barely by about 2.4 million. Or he got 2.4 million, so he barely beat me by like, what, 100,000 damage. And what he ended up doing was use the same setup as I did, but he got Maeve's overcharged to 400% instead of 300 like I did. So basically what he did was he got 100% charge on Maeve first, and then plugged her out, and then buff stalled, and then brought her back in. using taunt on Bunyan, because Bunyan has both a defense down and a party buster buff. So I wasn't paying attention to his run because his was right after mine, and when he and then I think who was hosting that, by the way? I think Albert was hosting the first 2 days. So when Albert was like, "Oh, who is this?" I looked up from what I was doing, and then I saw Bunyan up there. And as soon as I saw Bunyan, I was like, maybe he'll beat my score. And then sure enough, he did. And then I went back to the hotel because that was the last. I believe that was the last challenge stage time slot for the day. And I went to back to my hotel thinking like, okay, so how can I beat that? So eventually, even though I didn't watch the first half of who was run, I eventually figured out that because he came up to me and told me that his Mave was only MP3. So like, okay, so if his Mave is only MP3, how is his Mave out damaging mine, who is MP4? And eventually I came to the conclusion that he must have gotten his Mave up to 100% charge first, and then plugged her out, and then brought her back in, so that her overcharge gets to 400% instead of 300 like mine did on my first run. So I was like, okay, I figured that first half out. But now what do I do with Bunyan? Because I didn't have, like I'm working on getting Bunyan, but she's only level 1, and I wasn't really too keen on leveling her up at the time because I'm busy with con shit and stuff like that. I barely have time to dump my AP on like random wine farming and shit. So I obviously didn't have time to invest into Bunyan in time for the challenge quest itself. So I was like, okay, so I can't use Bunyan. Who can I use? And then I realized, no, I have a secret weapon. It's Matahari. So I use Matahari instead. And Matahari is like was literally the perfect servant that I could use for that. She's a 1-star, so she's got very bad stats because she's a 1-star. She's an assassin, so the Cashes can kill her easily after I make her use her debuffs, and after I put a Tauntzy on her as well. Poster girl. Thanks, Monako, for saying it's OP. And yeah, gave her Poster Girl, stuck her in after Arash, because once I make Arash blow himself up, that brings in Matahari on wave 3. Used both of her debuffs, on skill 2 and skill 3, on Waver and I think who is it? Caster Gills. Sometimes can spawn with them, so make her use both of that. And then since she's got Poster Girl, Waver and Caster Gills kill her off pretty easily, and that brings Maven, buff stack all of them, and buff stack a second round, and then let Maeve go fuck Waver to oblivion and beyond. And then because of that, I got 3.1 million. So that was cool. Yeah, I don't think anyone beat that throughout the entire event. And I tried going for Assassin Daily. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. Even though I was there on the site, too many other people lined up before me, and they were only taking like 4 or 5 at a time. So I wasn't able to actually go up during Assassin Daily. I don't think. I did go up for Saber Daily, but I screwed up my run, and I was trying to go for an MHXA nuke strat, but my Nyanta killed Saber on wave 3 instead of MHXA, so I kind of flunked out of that one, if you will. I think that was my last shot at it. Did you watch the Case Files first episode? I wanted to, but I think I had another panel at the time. Maybe the Azure Lane panel, I'm not sure. Oh no, I remember. It was the autograph session. Because I didn't plan for that. So I believe the Case Files anime screening was after the Azure Lane panel, and I would have gone to it, or at least tried to have, if I ended up not getting an autograph ticket, but I did. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to the Case Files thing. Gonna go grab myself an autographs instead. So perhaps not surprisingly, 31 tickets got me fuck all. You were on stage during the Saber Daily? No. Well, once. It was the 5 o'clock challenge quest time slot, the last one on Saturday, right? The one right before the FGO panel itself. That was the only time, that was the last time I went up there, and then I didn't go on Sunday. Well, let's get into the actual multi-rolls, I guess. If 31 tickets doesn't get me anything new, I'm not too sure how much actual Saintquartz will get me, so I'm not really feeling too hot on this one. But yeah. So, while the whole challenge quest thing was going on, I was doing that. I was hanging around with the FGO stage thing. I actually got the chance to talk to some of the hamster squad, namely Michael. That's the name of Discount Jesus that y'all have been joking about for the past, like, however many weeks it's been since that last Chaldea broadcast stream or whatever. And Jeremy, I believe. Yeah, Jeremy, the guy who's in charge of the lore master. I got a chance to talk to them. Jeremy was really cool, actually. For those of you guys who may recognize him from looks, he's the guy. He's the Asian dude with the kind of long black hair. Kind of looks like Waver. I quote Albert. He kind of looks like Waver, with glasses, long black hair, and then yeah, the guy they said they hired from his Nasu vs. Lore panel at like SakuraCon or some shit. So yeah, that guy, Jeremy. So I talked to him a little bit. It was actually really cool talking with him because he was pretty honest about a lot of things about what goes on with the FGO and the USA tour. The most important piece of information that I learned that I got off him was the fact that like the Hamster Squad is very well aware of content producers such as myself and other streamers and other YouTubers. Like all this time, I'm sure they had kind of known, like maybe heard about us and or something, but Jeremy told me that one of the guys on the Hamster Squad actually knows me and watches my videos. Like probably not all the time, but he told me that someone but was it Carl? I'm not sure if Carl was the guy who said who Jeremy said watches my videos and knows me pretty well, just from like a viewer perspective. But Jeremy told me like some of the guys in our team like know about you guys. Like one of our guys watches your videos in particular. So that was really cool to know. For all this time, I thought the Aniplex team was too busy handling their own shit to really care about what content producers do or whatever. And not only that, but Jeremy said that he was talking with a few other people, namely X0. He mentioned him in particular, and said that we're trying to talk with DW and Japan to see if we can't do like some something with you guys, with you content creators. So I was like, oh yeah, that'd be really cool, yeah. And I was like, yeah, if you can do whatever you need to in order to make DW greenlight that shit, man. So I thought that would never happen, or at least I thought that would never cross their minds, but just goes on to show you that the Hamster Squad is actually on our side and not theirs. It's just Big Daddy DW kind of fucks us in the ass sometimes. Offer thy credit card? I mean, in a way, I already have. Why did I just get 220-30s? I get the feeling tonight is not going to be a good night for rolling. If I don't get anything within like what, let's say like 300 quartz, I may just call off the stream and just roll either on my own or on another day, because it's already, what, fucking 10 at night, and I'm already fucking dead tired from the event. I got work tomorrow, first thing in the morning, so I do not mind getting off right now and just leaving this for another time. Anyways, last thing that I want to mention, and this is the real quote unquote small little rant that I mentioned earlier, that I said that I wanted to talk about on stream. But yeah, let me preface this by saying that I'm not trying. I'm not trying to sound like a salty asshole for the next however many minutes that I talk about this. But if I do come off as a salty little asshole, I apologize ahead of time, or maybe not. Oh well. But as I was doing the challenge quest, I think I went up to the challenge quest a total of, let's say, I want to say like 4 times. 4 or 5. I think it was 4. I don't think it was 5. So I went up to the challenge stage a total of 4 times throughout the event. Like maybe like, what, 2, 3 times first day, or something. It's gotta be like 2 days on the first day, actually. 2 days on the first day or something like that, 2 or 3. And then, what was it? Once on day 2, yeah, it was only once on day 2, and then another time on the 3rd day. By the way, that's MP5 Enkidu. And oh no, so it must have been 5. It must have been 5 times. I went up there 5 times. So I went up to the challenge stage a total of 5 times. 3 on day 1, 1 on day 2, and then 1 on day 3, I believe. And I think 2 of my runs were failures, because the first time I fucked up, it was the very first time I went up on stage, and it was on Rider Daily, because I was trying to go for the nuke Shuten strat, except I got some bad RNG, and I don't think Shuten didn't come out in time fast enough for before the riders just started critting both Tamo and my Arash, who I wanted to suicide to get Shuten in before she could get in. So my support waiver came in, and for the challenge quest, once your support servant comes in, that's the end of the match, and you're automatically disqualified, because that's against the rules. You can't use a support unit. So once your support unit comes in, that's it. That's it. You're done. So I failed my first attempt that way, and then my second attempt, I failed because because of the way I mentioned earlier. It was Saber Daily. I was trying to nuke Artoria with MHXA, and I was trying to buff stack with quick memes, and then I was going to do Waver's MP, Nyanta's MP, and then MHXA's MP, so that MHXA can get, what, 300% overcharge or something like that. But Nyanta was so buffed by that point, because I had used Liz's double charisma along with her defense debuff on Artoria, that Nyanta just outright killed Saber anyway. So obviously, if she's dead, MHXA's MP doesn't execute. So I failed that one that way, or I didn't technically fail it, but that wasn't what was supposed to happen. Now, here's the part where I'm gonna get where I'm gonna start sounding like a little bitch. So brace yourselves. I'll try not to sound like a little bitch. But the first 2 days, I believe, first day or so, it was hosted. The challenge was hosted by Albert, and I enjoyed it when Albert was up on stage. He was pretty cool he was pretty cool, and he was generally, for the most part, doing his job pretty well, I'd say. And starting from either like the second half of day 2 or something, or starting from day 3 or whenever it was, Michael, aka Discount Jesus, starts hosting it. Now, to give you some context behind this. It's not much, but I figured it may be a little bit important at the very least. Michael actually showed up at the first FGO USA tour, the first one again in Los Angeles, which I went to, and I did the challenge stage for that too, and I also set the record for. That was when they used that was when we had to fight Gawain, either do max damage or do like the cheapest. Sorry, 1 second. So I had to, the challenge quest was either to do max damage or to use the cheapest team comp possible. So me being the whale that I am, trying to flex on everybody, I go with max damage and I take top score. I think I did like what 1.2 million or something like that. I don't know. The FGO USA Tour tweeted that shit out or something. You guys can go find that tweet somewhere. I don't remember exactly. So Michael, aka Discount Jesus, was hosting that panel too. Was hosting that challenge quest too. So when I came up on the challenge quest on the days he was hosting it, he instantly recognized me. We'd been talking. We met each other during the con on day 0, day 1, and day 2 anyway, and we talked for a bit on all 3 days, either way. So if he didn't, even if we hadn't met before then, he would still recognize me anyway, going up there. So I knew about him way before most of you guys did, because I believe most of you guys found out about him through the Chaldea broadcast stream, I believe. So when he came up on that stream, I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy who was hosting the challenge quest from back in February, 5 months ago. So I immediately recognized him. Thanks, Ludes. I believe is that Ludes or is that Fino? It's Fino. I saw BB, so I immediately thought Ludes. Thanks, Fino, for the monster of a raid. Jesus, that's 142 people in here now. Thanks for the raid, guys. Just rolling gotcha a little bit and then sharing some Anime Expo stories with y'all to pass the time, I guess. So thanks a lot for the raid, man, and hope you had a great stream today. I know most of us streamers were out for Anime Expo over the weeks, so hope you enjoyed having all the viewers, but that's besides the point. Have a good rest of your night, Fino, and looking forward to you streaming again later on this week. Anyways, to continue my my little rant here. So Michael, aka Discount Jesus, starts hosting the challenge quest, I think starting on either towards the end of day 2 or like the beginning of day 3. I want to say he started hosting at the end of day 2. No, it was day 3. He started day 3. Yeah, I remember now. He started hosting the challenge quest starting day 3. So day 3 and day 4. So I guess Albert did the first 2 days and Michael did the last 2 days. So, yeah. About that. So, I kind of came to the conclusion that Discount Jesus, I don't know. I get the feeling he doesn't really like me. I get the feeling he doesn't like me much. Yeah, because I mentioned this before. I suddenly got a lot of viewers from Fino in my Twitch stream, but on day 2, I mentioned how I used my Mave team to get like 2.3 million damage, and then Huawei came right after me, and then immediately beat my score with 2.4 million. So when I got 2.3 million on stage, and then I came down from it, Discount Jesus, who was one of the guys working at the booth, and by being one of the ones who passed you out passing out the FGO official player's guide, whatever the fuck this useless piece of shit is. Where's that thing? I know I can grab it here somewhere. Where the fuck is it? Is it down here? Yeah. So he was one of the ones passing these these bad boys out. So and he was watching my my attempt. And as I come down from the stage after landing 2.3 million, I walk over to his direction, like not necessarily to talk to him or anything, and then he kind of like shuffles shuffles up to me kind of discreetly, and he's like I know a lot of people who can beat your score, or something like that. I don't remember the entire conversation, but that part I do remember. I'm just kind of like taken back. I'm just kind of like taken back a little bit. I'm just like, oh, do you now? Cause just judging off the pattern of people who have been coming up. Like obviously, not everybody who goes up to those kinds of challenge quests are whales like me. Most of the people who go up there are just regular plebs. They're not whales. They just go up there with whatever they got. To do as much damage as they can, or think they can, or hell, even some of them were just trying to have fun and use like random fucking teams. I remember one guy went up there with a Medusa Lily just because he wanted to see Medusa Lily up there. And am I dropping frames? I think I dropped a couple hundred frames there. So yeah, like whales going up there wasn't exactly a common thing. Like I was probably one of the only ones to do so. And frequently at that, unless you also count Huawei who also went up there with me. Hey, finally something new. Where I was gonna go with this? So Discount Jesus is like, I know a lot of people who can beat that score. So I'm just sitting over here thinking like, yeah, okay, sure. And I tell him as such, like, yeah, okay, sure. And then as soon as Huawei beats my score with his, right? As soon as I see him beat my score, I'm like, oh yeah, he beat my score. Like I'm clapping for him with everybody else. I notice out of the corner of my eye, because Discount Jesus hasn't moved anywhere. He's still standing like relatively close by to me. After we had that, discourse, I notice him look over at me. And with this very, peculiar look in his eye. Like, how people look at you, with that kind of look that positively screams, "See, I told you." You know that look? Yeah, it was that look. It was that look. And I straight up told him like, "You don't need to give me that look, bro. you don't need to give me that look. You don't need to give me that look." And that's not all, actually. That's not all. When I come back the next day, after going back to the hotel, theorycraft, try to think about, okay, so how do I beat 2.4 million? And I come up with the Matahari strat with my Mave team. I go back the next day, and I get back up there. First things first. The very first challenge quest of the day on day 3. The very first challenge quest slot, I should say. I'm right there, bright and early, in front of everybody, at 10 or 11 sharp. I think it was 11, because I do the Kigurumi stuff first. And I'm there straight away, first one up in line, boom. No chance of me not getting in. In fact, I was the first one to go up there on day 3. So I go up there, go up there. And day 3, like I said, was the day that Michael, aka Discount Jesus, started hosting the challenge quest stage. And then, he's like, oh, here come that boy. Lame memes aside, it's like, hey, here comes our former contestant who was here the past 2 days, or something along those lines. Don't remember exactly what it said, but I go up there. Use my new and improved Mave team, and I blow 2.4 million out of water with 3.1 million instead, with the Matahari strat. And all the while, Discount Jesus does not sound all that thrilled to see me completely obliterate. Well, I don't know if completely obliterate is I think that's a little bit harsh. So let's not say that. I'll just say he wasn't too thrilled to see me beat 2.4 million, which was the record for yesterday. Once I dropped 3.1 million, I'm just gone. Like I don't even do I come back? No, I did come back. I did come back for was it day 3? Fuck. I'm getting my sense of time is being screwed with because I haven't gotten enough sleep. So apologies for that. So I don't even know if it's day 3 or day 4 anymore. But that being said, oh nice pen. Yeah, point is he wasn't very thrilled seeing me set another new record, and this time a record so high it stood for the rest of the event. Like they erase the leaderboards after every day to kind of like reset it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody could beat 3.1 million after that, because you can't really do that on Assassin Daily. Maybe you could do that on Saber Daily, maybe, but like you'd be kind of hard pressed for like super like hyper damage servants, kind of like in the same vein of Maeve. Like MHXA is probably your closest bet, and not a lot of people have MHXA like MP5 or some shit. And even then, she's a berserker, so she's gonna be doing 50% less damage anyway. So, yeah, I don't think anybody else beat 3.1 million. And so, yeah, he wasn't very thrilled with that. At least it didn't come off as that way. Because usually, for anybody, Michael or Discount Jesus, when I stuck around to like watch everybody else go up there and play, Discount Jesus actually did a good job of hosting, like if you guys have been to the challenge stage, you know how they usually act, and he was being interactive, engaging, and otherwise doing a pretty solid job of hosting that challenge stage, right? He had only a fraction of that whenever I was on the stage, whenever I went up while he was hosting it. And to finish the story, the next day after that, I try my MHXA team, which is the one that I said failed because I Niantic accidentally did too much damage, ended up killing Saber. Is this Saber? Yeah, I guess it is. Ended up killing Artoria before MHXA could land her own NP to do max damage. So when I failed that, or before I failed that, when I was at the last screen where I was deciding, okay, which MPs should I use in which order, while I was doing that, Discount Jesus talked into said this into the mic. I'm going to laugh if Atalanta ends up killing Artoria first. And she did. Now he didn't laugh at me in front of everybody, like in front of the entire crowd. He didn't do that, I don't think. But he was like, oh, Atalanta kill, that was not what was supposed to happen. Like, that part I get, but the fact that he said, I'm going to laugh if Atalanta, fitting because his voice actor was at Anime Expo. The fact that he was like, I'm going to laugh if Atalanta ends up killing Artoria first, I don't know. That one kind of stung, That one kind of stuck with me for a little bit. And after that, I was like, I could have gone back on Sunday, actually, because I had nothing planned on Sunday. Sunday was the 4th day. Or Sunday was day 4, yeah. And it was the last day. Today, in fact. I could have gone back, actually. I could have gone back because they had a few more time slots for the challenge quest before, the con shuts down for the year. Because it's the end. Today's the end. I could have gone back, but I chose not to. Because I was like, well, if I fail it again, which there's a good chance I could, because I was going to run the MHX team again anyway, and depending on like whether or not some buffs, whether or not some debuffs land, depending on whether or not I get some buffs off, it's like, well, there's a chance that I could fail again, and I don't know. I don't want to go up to a stage where the host is kind of like, oh hey, it's this guy again. Which, to be fair, I've been up on that challenge stage for quite a few times, and there was even one part of this of the day. I think it was on day one. It probably was on day one, honestly. Outside of day one or day two, where I went up there so many times that the lady who was in charge of like picking who was going to go up on stage, because she could only pick like 4 or 5 at a time, like I said earlier. She already recognized me already by the second time. I guess she has very good memory, and was like, yeah, can you try to let other people go first? So that's how many times I fucking went up there, and yeah, uh, yeah. I don't think Discount Jesus likes me at all. He definitely didn't seem to have that vibe. As I think back on it, I do think that the way the reason why he was acting kind of that way towards me was because I know for a fact that when I did the 2.3 million run with Maeve on Caster Daily, uh, after I did that, and Albert went up to me with Mike and said like, oh, can you explain how like what you did there? Like how'd you get that much damage? So I was like, yeah, this is what happened, this and this and this. And towards the end, I was like, easy, like a complete douchebag, easy. Like it was all in good fun, or at least I wanted to make it sound like that. And I don't know. Whenever I like to try to stress whenever I'm saying something like that. Like I try to stress that I'm just doing this for fun, and I don't want anyone to like take personal offense by the fact I said easy. I guess Discount Jesus took that like the horribly the wrong way. I guess that's the only thing I can really think about, because back during the FGO USA Tour Los Angeles, the very first one back in February, I went up to that challenge stage multiple times too. I must have gone up there like 3 or 4 times, because I know I did one run with trying to attempt it with Anne and Mary, Archer Anne, that is, and then I think the second time was when I did it with Yuri. I tried doing a low cost team comp with like David, Yuri, Steno. I failed that one, but I tried. And the third attempt was when I nuked the fucking shit out of Gawain with Orion and did 1.2 million damage or so, and took the record. And I believe Discount Jesus was the host the entire time, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though, but I do know for a fact that he hosted several of my runs then. And all the times then he was pretty cool. I didn't feel like he was acting anything like the way he acted towards me during this event. And so I was kind of surprised when when it started off with, oh, I know people who can beat your score on day 2 or whenever, right after I got the 2.3 million mark. Yeah, kind of a surprise. And I was like, I thought he was like kind of like bantering at first, but I could already kind of tell when he was saying that to me, like this guy might have an issue with me, and I pretty much confirmed that when I saw Huaweeb beat my 2.3 mil with his 2.4 mil, and then like I said earlier, Discount Jesus gave me that sideways "I told you so" look, that real smug "I told you so" look. So by that point, I was like, okay, this guy's got an issue with me. So I don't know. I still don't know what to think about it, to be honest. Like I kind of dwelt on it a few times here and there ever since all that shit went down, and because I was dwelling on it, I came to the conclusion that why even bother going on Sunday? Like I already have the max damage score, and I know he's going to be hosting on the final day anyway. So if he's the host, like if it were Albert hosting that or somebody else, then I would have considered, yeah, maybe I'll give it another shot. But since it was Discount Jesus hosting, I was like, I think I'm good. Like I don't think he wants to see me up there. So I just didn't bother going. I already set the damage record for the entire event anyway with 3.1 mil, and you know, trying to go up there any more times would make me feel real fucking self-conscious about, you know, the possibility that I'm only going up there just to flex my whale muscles. So again, for like the fourth or fifth time, I didn't bother going earlier today, which was the last day. So I don't know. I don't really know what to think. I guess an interesting experience. I guess it'll just be, I guess a couple months from now I'll just fucking forget about it, like I always do with everything else in my life, and not really think much about it. But I guess, and it'll just turn into like one of those funny weird stories where I had a run-in with an Aniplex employee. But I don't know. That's then. For right now though, I still kind of dwell on it and like, I don't know. Was that really warranted? Was that my fault or his? Maybe it's not anyone's fault. Maybe we should stop being assholes. But who am I kidding? If you act that way the next time you do a max damage run at a future FGO Tour acts, he's the one with the problem. I guess. Because the challenge. Here's the thing. The challenge quest stage is specifically listed to have max damage. Like so for those guys who weren't there, because I don't think they live streamed this. For those guys who weren't there, what they did was they had a big FGO Tour booth, USA FGO Tour booth. It was in the entertainment hall, and it was one of the first booths that you'd see going into it, because Aniplex, being Aniplex, loves to put big fucking booths in the middle, right in front of the entrances to the biggest rooms in the convention center. Classic Aniplex. They're like me, that whale who wants to brag about how much money they have. But anyways, so at the FGO Tour USA booth, it was like four-sided, where inside you could play the FGO Duel card game. Behind it was the Kentucky Rider, the Golden Bear, the bike that Rider Kentucky rides. You could sit on it and have people take pictures of it, which is pretty cool. And they had that bike. They've been bringing that bike all around with them to every FGO USA Tour stop, so maybe you guys have already seen it or seen pictures of it floating around on the internet. On the left, they had the gallery of all the servant art and craft essence art in the game so far up until this point in NAFGO, and then some other stuff. And then up in front, right in front of the exit out of the entertainment hall, was the FGO Tour like main stage, where they had the Kigurumi stuff. They brought on Saber's VA and Liz's VA, Liz and Astolfo's VA, and they had a kind of like a live interview in front of like a small crowd. And of course that's where they held the challenge quest. Yeah, they. Fuck! I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I'm in con hangover, where everything is rushing back into my head. I'm losing track of literally everything, including the trajectory of my own life, and wondering where the fuck Holmes is after almost 500 fucking Sane Quartz, or is it 400? Something like that. But anyways. Oh yeah, that's right. I recovered my train of thought. Saved, chat, saved. So they had the stage, and then on the left of the stage they had the schedules for like today, that day, the current day, and then the next day. On the right, or was it on the right? No. Not only did they have like stands that showed the schedules for the like what was going on at the stage for the current day and the next day, but they also had another stand, a bigger stand, where they were keeping track of the top 5 people with the top 5 highest damage records of that day. And like I said earlier, they would wipe the board clean once one day was over, though I disagree with that, but I'll get into that maybe later if I remember to talk about it. And to the far right, they had another board, another sign that detailed the rules of the challenge quest, the restrictions, everything like that, right? And the specifications of what you could and couldn't use, and where you had to fight, and all that stuff. So at the top, though, here's what I was trying to get at, and here's here's what I was trying to get at. At the top of the sign, it specifically says, challenge quest stage, max damage challenge. So looking at that, logically speaking, you would think that whales will go up there and be like, yo, yeah, let me flex my whale muscles here a little bit and try to get max damage. It turns out there's not a lot of whales out there. At least none that I really see. Like, honestly, I think Hua Weeb, the guy who beat my 2.3 million score and made Discount Jesus give me that hyper smug look, he was literally the only whale that I saw go up on stage who wasn't like a major streamer or content creator. Like, I went up there, obviously, because that's just kind of my thing. I've been doing it. I did it back then. I'll do it again here. But most everybody else were just like normal, just normal people, normal plebs. Obviously, some plebs were better at the game than others, and you can kind of tell. But for the most part, nobody really had like super whale shit, like me or Hua Weeb or anybody else who any other streamer or content creator who went up there. So I guess that's part of the reason why Discount Jesus didn't really like seeing me up there. Because, like, I was one of the only ones who could actually, do that challenge quest to its full potential. Like, it got to the point where, not just Discount Jesus, but Albert too, was like, was specifically addressing the crowd, like, so can we, like, we'd really love to see you guys bring up like new and alternate teams. We don't really want to see like you guys bringing Merlin and Waver all the time. Like they specifically were up there on stage saying that, like, please use other people other than the usual Waver Merlin bullshit. Not in those exact words, but something like that. And in fact, Albert had actually banned Merlin. He had actually banned Merlin as a house rule that he made up on the spot for day one, and then later on in day one, he was like, okay, I'll let you guys use Merlin, and guess what? Everybody, including the plebs, start using Merlin too. So I'm just kind of confused. I brought this up with Jeremy too. I brought this issue up with Jeremy too. So basically, I was like, well, you guys are saying it's max damage. So if you guys are sick and tired of us going up there with fucking Omega Whale Merlin Waver compositions, team comps, then why do you bother calling it a max damage quest? Like, if you call it a max damage, of course I'm gonna bring Merlin. Of course I'm gonna bring Waver. Of course I'm gonna fucking buff stall my ass out, because the time limit is 5 minutes. You can buff stall one round of buffs in 5 minutes. That's easy. So, of course I'll do that. So of course I'm gonna go up to. Sorry, I was drinking some water. So of course I'm gonna go up there and pound the shit out of whatever you guys are telling me to do, right? And then the Jeremy who I was talking with was like, yeah, but like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, maybe we should have. Maybe we'll consider, tweaking the name a little bit from here on out. We'll see, but for now, the name is what it is. So, yeah, that is indeed what I complained about. So I was like, hey man, if you say max damage, we'll do max damage, yo. Like, I was going to use a non-optimal strat for Assassin Day with Fran and try to get her to do at least 1 million damage with Fran, because nobody had used Fran by that point yet. But some people cut in line in front of me on the last time slot for Assassin Daily, so I kind of got booted out by that, so I wasn't able to use Fran. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it was an interesting experience. Like for the most part, the FGO, the challenge stage was cool. I'd definitely go back again, but now that I know that maybe not Albert, but probably Discount Jesus dude. Probably Discount Jesus dude. Yeah, maybe if he's hosting that, maybe I'll. Yeah, actually, no. I'm pretty sure I thought about this. So, I've decided that if I go to any more FGO USA tours, which of course I'll go to, but probably not for the rest of the year because all the rest of the stops are over on the East Coast now. One in Anime Weekend Atlanta in Georgia, and then one in Anime NYC. And those are the last two for the year. So starting like next year, let's say, if there are more, if there is like a second year to like the FGO tour, a USA tour thing, and I end up going to some of them, you know, if Discount Jesus is the one hosting it, then I've decided to just do like, okay, I'll just do one like super max damage thing, make sure I get the record, and basically just don't bother showing up again. Because as long as Discount Jesus is up there, you know, I don't really feel like, you know, being on the same stage with him when I know that, you know, there's a chance that he doesn't really like seeing me. He doesn't really like, he like just straight up like me as a person, I guess. I don't know. Of course, to be fair, the only way I'd really know for sure what his opinion of me is just straight up to ask him. It's just to straight up ask him face to face, but I didn't have the chance to do that, so I'll probably never know what he thinks about me in particular. But I don't know. That was my one gripe of the entire con, other than the usual bullshit with security and lines and shit. But that happens every year, and I'm kind of used to it by this point. But yeah, that was the one like kind of like surprise gripe that made me go on this quote unquote small little rant. So for the most part, Hamster Squad is cool. But after this weekend, Discount Jesus, I don't know, man. Sure doesn't seem like a savior class servant to me. I'll say that much. He's not socially awkward. Like I'll give the devil his due. He's not socially awkward. I just think he doesn't like people who he thinks are trying to flex, you know? Now that I'm talking about this more and more, I'm thinking about it more and more, and yeah, I want to say I've convinced myself that he just really doesn't like people who he thinks are trying to flex. Could be wrong though. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Maybe I have already by this point, which is not my intention, but I don't know. I just didn't get a whole lot of positive vibes from him past that point, past the 2.3 million incident. So unfortunate, but whatever. Okay. Unfortunately, we're already 600 courts, 500 courts, not 600, sorry, 500 courts down, and no Sherlock to show for it. Oh, by the way, funny story. The guy, my friend, who got me into FGO, his online username is he usually goes by Protagonist. So I'll just start calling him Protagonist from now on, just for lack of a better, so that I don't have to keep calling him by the guy who got me into FGO. So after the FGO panel on yesterday on Saturday, he pulled GSSR during another late night panel we were going to. Very first pull, very first 10 roll, very first pull, Sherlock Holmes. So, I know where my Sherlock went now. I'll tell him that I dumped 600 quartz on Sherlock tonight, and I'll punch him in the face tomorrow. Oh, sorry, not GSSR, on Sherlock banner. Sorry, I misspoke. So yeah, X was kind of a roller coaster of emotions, kind of. All right, Gabber Knight, have a safe flight, man. And yep, catch you later. Yeah, that was Olga Scarface. You going to Anime NYC? No. The only anime conventions I really go to are the ones that are local to my area. I for the most part, I both can't afford and don't feel like flying out to other conventions. In part because of my job, and in part because I don't feel like flying. It's not that I hate flying; I actually really like flying. It's just that I don't know. Now that I'm involved with all these mobile games that have like their set event schedules and such, and since I want to go 100% in most of them, excluding Madoka for the time being, whenever I'm not at home and trying to deal with other stuff, you know, obviously that means that I can't devote my time and energy into playing mobile games. So, yeah, that's kind of a thing. Struggles, right? Oh, also, that reminded me. So here's the final kicker about Discount Jesus. So, uh, I talked about how I failed my run with MHXA on Saber Daily, right? Just a little bit ago. Um, so after I accidentally kill Artoria with Niente, so that ends the run, right? Because Niente is AOE, so it kills both targets. Um, Actually, no. The ad was already dead by that point, so it just killed Artoria. So once the quest is over, and after I disconnect my tablet, because obviously it's already done, you only get one shot at it. Discount Jesus walks over and is like, you want to explain what went wrong there? Sorry, almost said what went wrong like a fucking Asian. Oh wait, um, I was like explaining like, okay, yeah, so Nienta wasn't meant to kill Artoria right there, and then I say with obvious sarcasm, this is why sometimes it's not so great being a whale. With like, I was trying to make it very sarcastic, and then Discount Jesus goes, yes, who would like to cry a tear for our poor little whale here? Or something along those lines. I think at that point I was like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna come back tomorrow. Like maybe it was my fault for not getting the sarcasm through enough. Because I think I've after doing like YouTube videos and streaming and whatnot, I've come to understand that my voice kind of comes off as like, at least somewhat naturally sarcastic. Um, so I was like, yeah, I'll just be sarcastic here, right? I guess Discount Jesus didn't really get that part. Either that, or maybe he did, but you know, he still chose to drop that anyway, as like trying to be counter sarcastic, which I can understand that actually. Yeah, actually that makes that now that I think of it, now that I'm talking about it out loud, that kind of makes sense, because that kind of I guess validates my opinions on him earlier about when back when he gave me that hyper smug look after Huawei beat my 2.3 million score. It kind of adds up. So can't put /s IRL. Yeah. One of these days, technology will give us the ability to speak in emotes. Just one of these days, just you wait. Nerds will take over the world. Just you wait. So yeah. I mean, I don't want to... Like I said, this is just a small little rant, and I'll probably forget about all this within like a week or two, a week's worth of time or two or whatever, because, you know, I'm just the kind of guy who's like, you know, whatever. If something happens today, I'll probably forget about it, like from like, you know, a couple days from now and not even realize it ever happened, unless someone like explicitly brings it up again. But yeah, I just don't want to be on bad terms on that guy. With Discount Jesus, like the Hamster Squad like all the Hamster Squad, like they're all hardworking people. Like they deal with the rest of our bullshit collectively as a community on a daily fucking basis. So they always have a lot of shit to sift through on a daily basis anyway. And I need not explain what kind of shit they have to deal with. I think you guys can imagine that on your own. But yeah. I know Albert is cool. I know Jeremy is cool. Discount Jesus is the only one who I'm not too convinced about being a cool dude. Like if you aren't a whale and you're not me, you could probably go up to him and he'll be super cool and he'll be super fine. I'm sure. But I guess once he realizes that you're a person that he doesn't like, I think he really tries to be passive aggressive about letting you know that he doesn't like you. In my opinion. Who's gonna remind him of the drama later? I'm sure somebody will. People are gonna look up because once I'm done with the stream, the YouTube's gonna archive the VOD. So I'm sure somebody will you know, go back to the VOD and then listen to what what I've said here today or tonight, and then do whatever. And now that I know that there's somebody in the Hamster Squad, I think it's Carl. Maybe it's not Carl, but now that I know for a fact, because Jeremy confirmed it, that a few people on the Hamster Squad know me, like me as in Tuhu Sniper, the YouTuber and the streamer. There's a fair chance that they'll pick up on this too and hear what I have to say about Discount Jesus. So. Also, funnily enough, after I beat Huawei's 2.4 million with my 3.1 million, I was actually thinking about when I went up on stage on day 3, I think it was, to do my 3.1 million run. I was actually thinking about going up there and be after I'm done, because Michael aka just Discount Jesus, or Albert, or whoever the host is for that day, they usually go up to the contestant, right? After they're done, like before and after they're done, before to figure out, like, you know, have the guy or girl sometimes share like, oh, what's their game plan, like what are they trying to do and stuff like that. And then after they're done, to kind of figure to let them share like what happened, what went wrong, if anything went wrong, and then what and you know, all that stuff, all the post battle stuff and shit like that. So I was actually legitimately thinking about going up there, and then for when Discount Jesus came up to me to give me the mic and you know, tell me like and ask me like, so like, you know, what happened with that fight, how did you get so much damage, blah 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 blah. I was very close to being like, thanks to Discount Jesus here, I went back, revised my strategy, and beat the living shit out of the previous record. I wasn't gonna actually say beat the shit out of the last record, because obviously that's rude and I was on stage. So I was gonna say something along those lines, but I didn't, because I didn't want to come off as even more of an asshole than I already probably seemed like. But if I'd really decided to be like, yeah, this Discount Jesus guy is really pissing me off, then I legit would have just been like, yeah, this you can thank Discount Jesus for making me come back with an even worse strat than yesterday. I'm pretty sure if I had said that, though, he probably would have kicked me off the challenge stage and made sure I never came back. Pretty sure. Chase this with water. Do you chase water with Coke? Do you chase Coke with water? I don't even know. I don't drink. What do I know? What do I know about chasers? Well, yeah, that too, Lawrence. That too. I didn't want to fucking throw Huaweeb under the bus too, just because I wanted to get back at Discount Jesus. So yeah, that would have been bad too. Definitely didn't want that to happen. Oh, finally, fucking Sherlock. About fucking time you showed up. I bet he was sitting in the gotcha this entire time, listening to my mind like, I see. Continue. This is very interesting. Very interesting. Manka, Fascinating. Elementary, my dear. Fuck you, Sherlock. How many multi-rolls did it take you? 900? And I have to roll more, too, for Columbus on a Garthel rotation. Has that whole one eyebrow lifted? Yeah, I'm sure. It's Holmes. Fucking bastard. Perfect timing, too, because that was literally the end of my rant. Like, I had nothing more to say after that. And it's only one of you. You can go fuck yourself, Holmes. Makes sense because Moriarty is, I think, one of my cheapest MP5 SSRs. So it makes sense that Sherlock isn't really fond of me. 900 is 3 times more than you initially said. Yeah, well, as I was also ranting, and you know how that'll end up. Okay. Well, that means that I'm done for tonight, I believe. I'll be back for I gotta do my free front point summon. I'll be back for the Agarthal raid up whenever that is. Actually, let me check here when that'll be. Where is it this? I don't think so. I don't think this has gotcha information. Does it? I don't fucking know. No, it's not. I don't think it does. It's probably on another one here. Is it this one? Guaranteed gotcha. Nah, not this one. Boop. Okay, yeah, it's this one. Okay, so where's Agartha? Right here. July 13th. Okay, so that's literally fucking next week, or this Saturday, I guess. So I guess I'll be back this Saturday so I can try rolling for Columbus. because he's a 3-star and he doesn't show back up on raid up until God knows when. The ultra rare 3-stars begins now. Actually, it technically already began with fucking what's his face, Bedivere. Alright. Well, mission accomplished. We got Sherlock Holmes with literally 3 times the amount of quartz that I said I would use. So that's cool. What did you get for a GSSR? Saba! Perhaps quite appropriately. Anyways, that'll be it for me today, because today was a long day. A long week, too, for today, so... yeah. I have to get my fucking ass to bed. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant on stream, which I know some people might not be very comfortable with, but seems like not many of you left during all that. So thanks for listening to a whale cry salty tears about how he was bullied by an Aniplex employee, which really doesn't matter. Please don't give him shit over this. So yeah, thanks for watching. We're gonna go host somebody. Just like we were hosted by Fino and I think somebody else. I forget. Was it? I know 2 people hosted. I know one of them was Fino. I forget the other guy. Sorry, the other guy. Really, I didn't mean to forget you, but I know somebody did. But anyways, let's see. Who can we host? The usual suspects aren't here, so I guess I'll just fucking host Solo Man. Is that him? Oh shit, hold on. Cancel that one. Wrong person. Yeah, I was about to say, like, I was like, wait a minute, the profile picture doesn't match. I was like, ah shit, I spelled Solomon and not Solo Man. Alright. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and catch you next time. Anyways, YouTube chat, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to be trying to push out more videos for the rest of this week, and the next week. I probably won't be streaming too much because our next event is Summer 1 rerun, and obviously that's just a rerun. I'll more than likely stream my Squirtle, Gotcha Salt, whenever she shows up, and yeah, I'm gonna try to get out some more videos this week. One of them is an Azure Lane video that I meant to finish it and get out before Anime Expo, and then they dropped the fucking JB event, the French event on us, so I had to deal with that, so I ended up not being able to. So yeah, look forward to that if you guys are Boats fans. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good night. Oh yes, and of course the melt video, because I said I would do that. So yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to everything. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good night. Sleep well. Or for those of you guys who it's not night for, have a good day, and rest of your afternoon, evening, whatever.